I got to thinking today, exploitation, but what about our boys, our teens, our young men? We certainly in the United States do not talk nearly enough about they are suffering as well. Warrior, welcome. Please make sure you are subscribed to our channel. You hit the little bell so you'll be notified when videos come up first. Become a member. We have memberships now. You can find all of that right here on the channel. And also always hit the like, because our hashtag at the Warriors is community creates change, and we firmly believe that is where action take change takes place. Let's get back to the boys. I got to thinking, we traditionally have just always been speaking pretty much most of the time, in my opinion, about sex trafficking for girls, teens, young women. And that is with the stats we have in all of the studies. That is the truth. It is mostly 90% plus. But I am here to say there are so many boys, teens, young men that are sex and labor trafficked, and we're not talking enough about it. For instance, it's simmering up now. We've got these cases, in the headlines. Sean Combs, I like to call him Dirty Diddy. We have some other things happening that mention boys, that mention young men, but we're not getting down to the brass tacks. First of all, we don't have true stats because boys, teens, young men, just going to say men to cover everything, do not come forward to report any of these crimes. They are too embarrassed. They just sometimes think this is the way it is, which we're finding out with a lot in the hip hop community, that it's part of their ritual. It's part of their, if you want to make it in the business, you got to be part of this. We're finding that out in other kinds of businesses as well. But we also learned recently from law enforcement that we work with and collaborate that in San Diego, California, 50% plus of all boys, teens, men. I want to keep saying this over and over again and brainwash you, because we have to really step it up and talk about the men, the boys, the teens come through San Diego. And I asked a question. I said, why is this? And nobody seems to be able to answer this. Is it because it is so much easier to traffic from other countries through these open borders in California, down through perhaps Hollywood, and then be distributed out among the states? We don't really know. But I think it's worth and warrants investigation. But, we're hearing things, Macaulay Culkin, we're hearing about certainly Justin Bieber, all of these things that we're allowed to go on. What we do hear an increase in lately, and thank goodness, but we got to keep at it. This is something that has to be discussed 24/7, 365, is sextortion. And that is extorting somebody online to make money from them. That is affecting white males 14 to 17. Now, that is a stat that came from the FBI. They've put out several warnings in the last 12 months. It seems to be falling on deaf ears because we have kids that are harming themselves and more. And this is a family program. I think you know what I mean by more. And also too embarrassed, they say, to go to their parents or their caretaker to say, I did this online. I exchanged a nude image. I exchanged dialogue. Why? We need to lift the embarrassment with our young men. So we have to start age appropriate with boys right out of the gate. I am not kidding when I tell you this. Age 3, 4, 5. We never give kids that young too much information, but just to let's have talk. Come to mommy, come to daddy, come to grandma, that trusted adult that is in their life if something is not right. Again, a lot of this happens online. It is up to you. You have parental autonomy when you want to give your child a device. But we urge you at the Warriors, delay is the way. No child before the age of 12 really needs to be on any of these devices. The longer you can wait, the better off. It's a beautiful fall, 2024 so far. I'm in New York City. It is just gorgeous the last couple of days. Get out there. Get one with nature. Explain things to your children. Let you be the leader and the educator, not some stranger predator online. But let's start talking about and showcasing these crimes against boys, teens, and men. And let's rally up and give them support, that they come forward so we can talk about it. Because, in my opinion, I'm looking at this whole a dirty ditty case almost, perhaps, in my opinion, as something that's really, really about boys and teens and men. And women and girls just happen to be there. But that's what I'm thinking, and that's where I'm going and investigating and looking into things. So talk to your sons. We have to get them on board with all of this. It is okay to talk about these subjects. We're having a tough enough time with the girls. Let us include, always in our conversations, boys, teen boys as well. Explain to them you've heard about sextortion. For instance, as an example, you have a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. You don't have to go into a lot of graphic detail. Just there are bad people online, right? You don't have to answer a stranger online. Why, gee, after all, I, as a grown woman, get strangers approaching me online with all kinds of things. So can you imagine how the children feel? So we have to get a hold of this. We have to talk about the males as well. As always, we thank all of you at the Warriors for your donations, for your volunteering, for sending us all these goods that are coming in for our November giveaway here in New York. Always follow lynswarriors.org for information, breaking headlines. Remember, subscribe to this channel. Please honor. It is the only way to get the work done in this horrible atmosphere of child predation. Support us. Community creates change. Remember, each and every day, we all can and must do something. It's 2024. You know what? We can no longer sit on the sidelines. So let's get to it. Let us all be warriors and wake up each and every day. Talk to your kids open and honestly, and always go out and be a warrior.